Hi, welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're taking another look at a classic review, a classic figure going back to 1982, and we're looking at the G.I. Joe, a real American hero, version 1 Breaker. That's right, version 1. That is a straight arm. Now, this is not my figure. Well, this is not my original figure. It is my figure. And as I mentioned before, I prefer the straight arm figure. I prefer the swivel arm over the straight arm figure. But we're going to take a look at him and all the detail that he comes with, including this sweet accessory that I don't think we ever saw used again. But anyway, this is not my original because a quick little story that this was the first figure I ever lost. And back in the day when we would leave the house and go through the woods and play and our parents didn't have to worry about us and we were doing our own thing till it got dark, I went to this place in the woods and they called it Bell Taco. Kids weren't the most original, and it was an upside down taco, and you would ride your bike down and shoot it out. But getting to that, there was another big dip before you had to get there. And I remember I was walking, carrying my G.I. Joe figures, and he fell out. And I actually remember dropping them, and I picked them up, and I kind of got a little bit further. And when I realized I lost it, I went back. I couldn't find him. Now, there was a little crick and everything that he may have fallen down or in the leaves, but this was the first figure that I remember losing. And I don't remember ever telling my mom or dad that I lost the figure. I think it was one that I just went on without having because I originally had it and didn't want to tell my parents, and it probably wouldn't have even been a big deal. But it is crazy how like little things like that will resonate with you. But anyway, this is the figure we're going to take a look at, all this detail. And again, right now we're kind of rehashing because there's so much reuse in these original figures, just repainting them. But anyway, let's get to this. And if you like this type of stuff, if you like seeing these classic reviews, going back in time, maybe picking up what, bringing back the feels of what you had back as a kid, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and then hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a video such as this. Alright, so here he is, and we'll take a look at this figure. And I always like to start off with the accessories. So we'll pop this off, and while I'm doing so, this was a figure that he didn't come with any weapons. So he's probably a figure of the straight arm figures that probably still have the most thumbs attached. Considering the weapons were normally what broke everything. So he comes with your classic helmet, and it does have a port for the visor, or for, in his case, his headset. So here's his headset, and it did plug in here. Now, a lot of these have broken over the years, or they just won't stay in. They're just too straight. But looking at this, again, you have the two little dots, or two little pegs right there that are going to plug into the helmet. And then you just have this earpiece. All right. And look at the detail that they put into this. And again, you're looking at this plastic mold injection for 1982, probably 81. And then you have this microphone. And this thing was always made, so you don't see too many of these broken. Now, you don't see too many of them. They get lost. But this was actually pretty sturdy. And then you have the nice antenna, or the wire that's supposed to run right back here. And on the back, I always found this very interesting. It almost looked like it was supposed to have some sort of little TV on it. I doubt that's what it was, but in my mind, there's always some sort of like TV, and you have all these little buttons on it, and obviously just these different things, because there's some sort of weird communication pack. Now, I don't know what the chew marks are. This was not my original. And the things I'm starting to notice is stuff like this, where obviously they broke the peg off from the is the tree, they call it. But the backpacks are modeled to go up this way, so you know exactly which way they're supposed to sit on the back. As for the figure, we have the helmet here, which I kind of pointed out. They all look the exact same. They have the detail that runs across. And this one is actually still in pretty good shape. As for our breaker, nice hair running across. He's got the brown hair, same looking eyes. All right, just a little dot right there. A little bit of paint on the top, and obviously his beard looks pretty good along with the eyebrows. I always loved this chest piece because you had the knife right there, and then you have the pineapple hand grenade. But you see the nice little pouches here, all right? And then you have things that I never noticed, the little strap that's going to hold them into, into place. So just like you have the belt loops, you kind of have this loop up here, probably pins in, and then you have this nice, not turtleneck, but the just the neck piece that's going to keep it nice and tight around there. And then you have your Y strap, and obviously that's where your screw is to undo these figures. Here you have the cuffs. So he's another one with obviously short sleeves and no gloves or anything. The rivets just stand out. Here we have the your belt, and I keep pointing out these belt loops and a different style belt than what we looked at last time, I believe. And this is one of the straight arms. So this is an H for Hasbro, which looks just like a little clasp, but nope, it is for Hasbro. And I never realized that as a kid. Some may have. I was not one of them. And then here we have another piece painted silver. I had to double check and make sure that's how it's supposed to be, because it looks like someone tried to paint it, but it looks like this is actually silver. And I'm not sure exactly what that is. It looks like it's some sort of communication piece, because it's on another figure that I know we just took a look at. Zap actually had it. And then right here, another pouch. All right. And then we have the nice knees here, and then the boots that have the little, again, I don't know exactly what that is, along with what, I don't believe these are supposed to be shoelaces, but I could be wrong. And they just kind of run straight up. Now, as for his articulation, they only turn side to side. No head movement up and down yet. Again, much tighter, much different. This style of O-ring is way different because they changed the inside in here. So you cannot swap this figure, like these arms, this head, with the swivel arm. They changed the whole inside of everything. Maybe I'll break one apart in a future video and kind of show you the differences here. So it does turn side. And as we mentioned before, he's a straight arm, so there's no swivel. All right. Jean-Claude Van Damme, not that great, but these were meant to sit in seats in the same 90-degree seated position. So that's really all that's to this figure. But I do believe that this is, I always really liked Breaker, even though I lost him. And it was always disappointing, even as a kid, that he didn't have a weapon. I thought the M16 that came with Grunt probably would have been like a perfect weapon. And it's kind of what I normally give him, just because it kind of slots into his hand. And I ended up with an abundance of them. And I think what a lot of us did with those brown ones from the weapons pack. So there is your trip down memory lane with our Breaker. All right, so there you go. That is my classic review of the G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero Breaker, the straight arm version. Again, not my favorite. I much prefer a swivel arm, but this is the one that I got. Not my original one, but anyway, it's nice going down memory lane. Hopefully, it brings a smile to somebody's face. Maybe they just remember something. This, I know a lot of people, he was their first figure. My friend Dave Combest, this was the one and only G.I. Joe figure he ever got. He just didn't care for action figures. It was absolutely crazy. Like, he didn't even come over and play with the G.I. Joes. Like, we played Dukes of Hazzard with the big old cars. Never, ever really played with the G.I. Joes. Crazy. I can't even imagine a kid that didn't enjoy action figures. And he didn't. He was a sports guy, and I was not. So anyway, there you go. If you enjoyed this, if you enjoyed this video, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a video such as this. And again, please don't go anywhere because you stayed this long. What I am going to do is I'm going to leave another link right up here to the Zap that I did, and down here will be a playlist of all the G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero O-Ring Classic reviews. Take care.